हरिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते सप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो नमो sorry वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिसुतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare
Krishna Prabhuji, sorry for the mistake.
No, Mataji. But that's wonderful. Thank you.
I have to close my eyes when I repeat anything. If I open my eyes, I forget everything. Sorry. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Mataji. Perfect.
Hare
We'll
Krishna.
start our evening session. Hare Krishna Pawan Prabhuji. Very good. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Anyone would like to do the Jai Radha Madhava?
Yeah. Okay, Prabhuji, I can try.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead with the here.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridharadhari. Jashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Just a very quick one we'll do for anyone wants to do Hare Krishna one? Just to give a chance for everyone to.
Prabhuji, can I try Prabhuji?
Yeah. Why not? Mataji, please go. Yeah,
In any tune, Prabhuji, or just
any tune. Yeah, anything is beautiful.
Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayana Vasudeva Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, that was so beautiful. You sang so nicely, and it's just coming from the heart. It's just like your soul is singing for Krishna. It's that's very important. Like sometimes is it like we singing, or is it like our soul is singing for Krishna? Whether we are chanting or whether we sing, it should come straight from our soul, from our Atma. Like how nicely with that bhavam, like normally we sing, but most important thing is with the loving this thing, just like remembering them. And it is so touching. Very nice, Mataji. So beautiful. I think all of us,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
yeah, I'm glad I asked and you said yes. I hope like everyone takes part like that, because we want it to be inclusive, right? We want all of us, each one of us, devotees, they're so important for each of us. And we want all of us to be participative and inclusive, So that's what my main this thing is. Just before I just wanted to start off today, we had a young couple, like, in fact, not couple, I would say, like brother and sister. They came and they just missed the afternoon arti, and they came to the mandir, and I was there, and I just, but they were so attentively listening when I was speaking about Bhagavad Gita. So when we went for the prasadam, I just spoke to them, just casually, I was just speaking to them, and I just got to know that they just came late after the aarti is over and the curtains were closed, and they were feeling so bad. Like, we came walking, literally half an hour we were walking just to come to the temple, and we were like, so of course we had, had access to the management, BMF. So I took them upstairs, and they were personal Utsava Murtis of Radha and Krishna. So I gave them the darshan of Radha, Krishna, and Utsava Murtis, and gave them books like Bhagavatam book and Chant and Be Happy and all these books, and gave them some prasadam, and and they were like literally had tears. They were literally crying actually in front of Radha and Krishna, because for them they're from Gujarat. So obviously, like, some people, many, especially from Gujarat, you had that natural this thing towards Krishna, and they were like feeling so emotional. They were literally crying when I gave them the darshan of Radha Krishna. So sometimes, as we can be instruments for Krishna, that if somebody is coming to see Krishna, and if we can be that small instrument to take them closer to Krishna, give them the experience that they will never forget, they will feel like, okay, I should want to come again. And the reciprocation that Krishna is doing it for them, not we. We are just an instrument. but Krishna is reciprocating the feelings. And that's what they felt. They said, like, we taken pain to come here, came walking all the way, and just see how Krishna is reciprocating. He's giving us a darshan of Mutsa Murtis, and we're getting nice books and freely and things like that. So I was very happy to see them, and just wanted to share. Even yesterday, same thing happened. One of the girl, it was her birthday, and she came with our friends and everything, and they came long time walking to the mandir because they couldn't find their way. They couldn't get a good connectivity, and we literally gave them a darshan, and then we gave the Gita talk, and after that, I literally went and dropped them to the station, giving them all the books and all that. They were like literally so happy and joyful, like. I can't believe that Krishna is giving us so much kind of a mercy. We came literally walking to the temple, and here we are getting a nice car right back to the station. And it's my birthday today, and we got a nice prasadam and a lot of books freely. And it so happened that there was a Bhagavad Gita book in the back seat. It's always there. There's always a copy of Bhagavad Gita in my car. And he was there, and all of them, they were sitting in my car, and they said, like, there's a Bhagavad Gita here. I said, like, keep it. That's going to be your birthday gift. So sometimes if we can be a small instruments to bring anyone who comes to the mandir closer to Krishna, then I think that is the best way we can please Prabhupada, and distributing his books, and just giving a little bit of Krishna prema to them. That's all we want, because if we can please Prabhupada, we will get the mercy of Krishna. So we should always just pray that, not to look at our own comfort, but to see like how we can bring other things, other people. We may have our own personal, challenges and things like that, but if we just depend on that mercy of Krishna and just do everything to please him, then that's our job done. Samsiddhim haritoshnam. Um, like the Bhagavatam, there is that particular beautiful sloka, isn't it? Tattenu kampam susamekshamano bunjana evatmakritam vipakam ridvagavapabe vidadamsta namaste jiveti ye mukta sadaya bhag. So the devotees, this is the mood of a prayer. Like when Brahma is offering his prayers, that whatever we are experiencing, even if there is some kind of discomfort we are experiencing, it is because of our prarabdha karma, and we are not asking Krishna to relieve us from this prarabdha karma, but we are saying, Krishna, whatever is happening, maybe it's because of my karma, but I am only wanting your grace, your blessings. And pure devotee is always looking at that. So these prayers from Bhagavatam are so important for us, because they set the tone for what should be the mood of our prayer. How should we pray? Even that is something which I realized, like in Bhagavatam, one of the most beautiful thing is from the devotees, we can learn how we can pray to Krishna. We seen in the last chapter, when we are covering chapter number, this right now we are in 71, but we seen in chapter number 70, how nicely when Krishna's daily activities, how the messenger who came on behalf to release all the people from Jarasandha, how he was praying to Krishna. We seen from Narada Muni. So the main thing of Bhagavatam is learn how to pray to Krishna, how to get into the mood, learn from the devotees how to get, because after all, Bhagavatam, that's the main thing about Bhagavatam. It's the Leelas of Krishna, and it's also the beautiful ways we can understand how to engage in the mood of pure bhakti, because what Prabhupada has given us is Bhakti Yoga, the highest form of yoga, the perfection of yoga, where we are not praying to Krishna, give me this, Krishna, give me that, but we are always praying to Radha and Krishna. Please engage us in your devotional. Please tell us which way we can satisfy, which way we can serve you. We don't want anything from you. We just want to serve you, right? So on that note, I will just dive into the book. We started off with chapter number 70. Always know, I'll just invoke my prayers, and then we will get into that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. As we always mention before we start the Krishna Katha, a beautiful sloka from Bhagavad Gita, which Krishna is saying, Janma karma chami divyam evam yo veti tatvataha chakto deham punar janma naiti mameti so Arjuna, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying, one who understands, one who knows the beautiful leelas of Krishna, Krishna's appearance, Krishna's beautiful pastimes to the Lord, those devotees who hear to Krishna Katha towards the end of the life, they will not come back again into this material world, but they have the highest benediction to go back to the highest Vaikuntha planet, which is called as Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the mood in which we should read that Krishna is giving us great benediction because this is our spiritual bank balance. We are kind of like, this is our Lakshmi Narayan account where we have to deposit all the bhakti that we have in the association of devotees. So on that mood, last week we covered about Krishna's daily activities. We've seen two most important activities. One, the messenger who's come on behalf of all the kings who have been imprisoned by Jarasandha, and the messenger is asking Krishna, please kindly help us. Please come and release all the kings who have been imprisoned by Jarasandha. We can see this is the mood of ego in this material world, because Jarasandha was having so much of ego that all the kings they were not surrendering to him. They were not bending to him. And the second thing we also seen that Narada Muni has come to invite Krishna that he has to go to the Rajasuya sacrifice, which is being conducted by Yudhishthira. And we also seen that Krishna, when he's living a perfect example of how to be a good friend, how to be a good king, and how to be engaging in every role as a mentor for the Pandavas. And here we seen that Krishna in the last chapter was asking Uddhava, please tell me like what is the right thing for me to do. And it's very interesting, isn't it? Devadi Deva Sri Krishna Bhagwan, the Lord of all the lords, he's asking Uddhava, please tell me, like, I trust your judgment, please tell me what is the right thing. So this is the beauty thing, right? Because the whole Bhagavad Gita was spoken because Arjuna was in that situation, right? Arjuna is very ironical here. Krishna is telling Uddhava, please tell me, Uddhava, like, what do you want me to do in this situation? I have two requests coming from the messenger and also from Narada Muni. So, how do you want me to handle this? And very similarly, of course, this is not in a situation of lamentation. He's just asking for advice. But what I'm drawing the parallels is like earlier in Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna, that's the turning point of Bhagavad Gita, right? Where Arjuna is saying, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha prachama tvam dharma sammoda chetaha yashreyashan nishchitan bruhitan me shisyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. I'm totally confused about my duty, or Krishna. Please tell me what is the right thing for me to do. I'm no more considering, from now I'm considering you as my guru. Please tell me what is the right thing for me to do. So Krishna explained the whole Bhagavad Gita after hearing this cry from Arjuna, big turning point actually in Bhagavad Gita. And but that Deva, the Deva who spoke the entire Bhagavad Gita, is here like a nice king of Dwarka. He's asking Uddhava, please tell me what do you want me to do. So we covered this, started with this chapter number 71, where and we also covered a couple of paragraphs as well. Lord Krishna in Indraprastha. See, it's very interestingly, I heard somewhere that like in India, the New Delhi, right now, the New Delhi that we have in India, the capital of the country, was actually, Hastinapur or something, I think, right? Isn't that the name of this thing? And I heard something like, they want to revert one of the ancient cities, like I don't know whether it's Delhi or something, like back to the original name during the Mahabharata time. So it's very interesting to see, like, that kind of interest also coming up in the parliament by one of the MPs. So, anyways, on this note, so here we're talking about in the presence of great Narada and the association of Lord Krishna. Uddhava was speaking to Krishna, and we also covered this already, saying that Narada Muni has come to request for Hastinapur, but again, Uddhava is given some brilliant advice. He's saying that, for a Rajasuya sacrifice, it is prerequisite, it is mandatory that the king should have gained victory before he conducts a Rajasuya sacrifice. So the best thing to do is to first release all those kings who have been imprisoned. That would be a great victory over Jarasandha, and that would be the ideal thing to do first before we go ahead and go for the Rajasuya sacrifice. So Uddhava is giving a right counsel. And we were just talking last week, like, we have so many friends, but so important to identify who could give you the wise advice, who could be because in everybody of our lives, we have so many friends, but not every friend is in a position, like, sometimes to give you the right advice, especially when you are in a dilemma or when in a situation. So it's very important to have one or two whom you can count on for giving the right counsel. So yeah, here Uddhava is giving the right counsel, saying that, this Rajasuya sacrifice, it should be performed only by a person who has gained victory over all the direction. Now, in order to gain victory over all of these kings are already there in the prison. So let's release them and let's put an end to Jarasandha, then that would be the right mode in which you can go to the Rajasuya sacrifice. And we also know that the Jarasandha is supposed to be like very very powerful man. He's got the possession of his strength of many elephants. So the right person to fight against him would be Bhimasena. But then again, Uddhava is saying, but this should happen in the presence of Krishna, because no matter how much of powerful power you may have, but only when you have Krishna on your side, then the victory will happen. Because we've seen that in Mahabharata, right? Even though the Kauravas had Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya, Karna, all the great warriors were there. But in the end, the Pandavas won the war because Krishna was there on the side. So, very nicely here is saying, if the fighting takes place in your presence, Krishna, I'm sure Bhimasena will emerge as victorious. So, this is the most important thing. So, there are small, small things which we can note down in Bhagavatam, where, like nice Uddhava is saying, the fighting, if it takes place in your presence. So, every time we have to remember that when we are fighting, because our ego thinks that yeah, I can do everything, like I can do everything, that I ego is always there. But we should, in every battle, we should always think of Krishna. We should always keep Krishna in our mind, and we should pray to Krishna to guide us in our fight that we take in this material world for achieving anything in our life. That's why one of the important sloka from Bhagavad Gita is Krishna is never saying run away from the battlefield. He's not saying that, but he's one important thing he says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha may arpito mano buddhi mame vaisasi asamseha. Krishna says, always think of me in the form of Krishna. Keep me in your prayers. Keep me with you. And then carry on doing whatever fighting that you're doing. And so that is why I find like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, so they're nicely in sync with each other. Whatever Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, that is what we can see that happening, unfolding in Bhagavatam as well. And here, now, Uddhava is saying, actually, you are the one who are creating all these things. Brahma and Shiva are all there. They're superficially they're available, but all that is happening by the will of Krishna, right? So this is what Krishna is saying. And my dear Lord, when Jarasandha is king, the kings of all the imprisoned kings will be joyful at the release of the husband. That's what is going to happen. So if Krishna can go and engage Bhimasena in fighting Jarasandha in the presence of Krishna, then Jarasandha will be killed. And once that happens, all the kings will be released and they will praise your glories. And then, so that would be the right mode in which the Rajasuya sacrifice can happen. And therefore, I think if the killing of Jarasandha is undertaken, then automatically, all the problem will be solved. Look at the way strategically, how nicely they were thinking. And as for the Rajasuya sacrifice there in Hastinapur, it will be held because of the pious activities done by the imprisoned kings or the impious actors. So we covered till here. My dear Lord, it appears that you are to go to personally to Hastinapur to conquer the demonic kings like Jarasandha and Sushipala, release all the pious imprisoned kings, and then able to perform the great Rajasuya sacrifice. So we covered over here. So we're going to start off with this. And so I just want, let's get started off. Anyone would like to read? We'll just have all of us nicely taking part in each of these paragraphs. Who wants to go first?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I start?
Yes, Mahesh Mataji, please go ahead.
Okay. This advice of Uddhava's was appreciated by all who were present in the assembly. Everyone considered that Lord Krishna's going to Hastinapur would be beneficial from all points of view. The great sage Narada, the elder personalities of the Yadu dynasty, and the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, all supported the statement of Uddhava. Lord Krishna then took permission from his father Vasudeva and grandfather Ugrasena, and he immediately ordered his servants Dwarka and Jaitra to arrange for travel to Hastinapur. When everything was prepared, Lord Krishna specially bid farewell to Lord Balaram and the king of the Yadus, Ugrasena, and after dispatching his queens along with their children and sending their necessary luggages ahead. He mentioned his chariot, which bore the flag marked with the symbol of Garuda.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, the way the Bhagavatam describes each and every incident that happens is something like so beautiful. The narration is so beautiful that you can literally visualize the situation, isn't it? Like how Krishna must be present out there, how Uddhava would be giving the counsel in the Sudharma. That's the assembly palace which always was happening, and that is where they have assembled, where Krishna had come to the Sudharma assembly hall in the presence of all of them, and then Uddhava is giving his counsel, and this has been appreciated. So sometimes when we have a right wise counsel coming from the right person, that is something which you find that everybody, is in agreement with that. So that is what's happening over here. Uddhava is given that his kind of counsel, which is the right strategy to do, considering how nicely that both the things will tie in. You first kill Jarasandha, and all the kings will be released, and that will be the best way then to do the Rajya Sakurya, because everybody is being conquered by then. So here we can see that even the Narad Muni, because of course he's one of the greatest devotees, and someone who's very, very important, especially to our Brahma Madhava Sampradaya. We've seen that great devotees like Bhakta Prahalad, we take Dhruva Maharaj, and all of them, they've been initiated by Narada Muni. In fact, the Bhagavatam itself comes into play because Vasudeva, Vyasadev was not so happy after writing all the Puranas, and then Narada Muni says it's because he haven't glorified Krishna, and the same Narada Muni here is also taking part in these beautiful leelas that have happened. So here we see that Krishna, like the king of Dwarka, but he was doing everything like to the perfection. We seen that when he was with the queens, he was like being the perfect husband. And here, as an ideal king, not being dogmatic, but taking the counsel of everyone, taking the permission from his father, Vasudeva. It's very interesting, isn't it? Krishna's other name, we call it as Vasudeva, and then grandfather Ugrasena. It's after a long time we're covering Ugrasena, because we all remember Ugrasena was in the beginning of the chapters. In the beginning, we spoke about how Krishna Kamsa went and put his own father Ugrasena in jail, and then how Krishna went to Mathura, defeated, killed Kamsa, and released Ugrasena, and gave back the kingdom to Ugrasena and said, "Grandfather, you rule the kingdom." So this is the beauty about Krishna. We can learn about how to be so selfless that I don't want anything. Krishna is always, he's called as Atma Rama. He's always self-satisfied. He doesn't need anything. Even the queens, because they asked, Krishna agreed to marry them and given them the best palaces and everything. So here again, we know one of the very most loyal servant that Krishna is called as Daruka, and Jaitra, who had been like, who are normally whenever Krishna goes, he orders those servants to take, to arrange for the travel and everything. And of course, so nicely he's bidding farewell to Balarama, to all the queens and Ugrasena, and getting onto his chariot. So beautiful the way the narration is, and who better than Prabhupada? We can't thank him enough, because Bhagavatam was every time was there in Sanskrit, but thanks to Prabhupada that we are all able to just go through all these narrations in English and happily reading this. Can I just ask anyone next paragraph? Anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yeah. The one which is highlighted, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before starting the procession, Lord Krishna satisfied the great sage Narada by offering him different kinds of articles of worship. Naradji wanted to fall at the lotus feet of Krishna, but because the Lord was playing the part of a human being, he simply offered his respects within his mind, and fixing the transcendental form of the Lord within his heart, he felt the assembly house by the airways. Usually, the sage Narada does not walk on the surface of the globe, but travels in outer space. After the departure of Narada, Lord Krishna addressed the messenger who had come from the imprisoned kings, and told him that they should not be worried, for he would very soon arrange to kill the king of Magadha, Jarasandha. Thus he wished good fortune to all the imprisoned kings and the messenger. After receiving this assurance from Lord Krishna, the messenger returned to the imprisoned kings and informed them of the happy news of the Lord's forthcoming visit. All the kings were joyful at the news and began to wait very anxiously for the Lord's arrival. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. So beautiful. Thank you, Prabhuji. So we can see like how Krishna, like as one of the things, beautiful things about Krishna is because he's the king of Dwaraka, so he's playing that role to perfection, where the way he's receiving even the great sage like Narada. Narada is very instrumental. He's one of the greatest devotees of the Lord. And what kind of a benediction can we see? If we see the life of Narada, we feel like it's such an amazing thing, isn't it? Because Narada was a servant's son in his previous life, but he was in the association of the devotees. He was serving all the rishis who arrived out there, where his mother was serving as a maid servant, and just by the association of the devotees, just by having the remnants of the food that they're eating, just imagine what a great benediction, how much he is absorbed in love for Krishna, and how he became a great devotee, and that in his next life he got this benediction that he travels in space. And not only that, he kind of initiates so many great devotees. Even till today, after so many thousands and thousands of years, these devotees are remain as a great this thing for us. But all of them have been initiated by Narada Muni. So Narada Muni plays a very important role, instrumental in Krishna Katha, which is very, very important. So here we can see that even though Krishna was offering, all kind of respects to Narad Muni, offering all the different articles of worship and all that, Narad Muni knew his place, that Krishna is just playing the role, like to be like an ordinary human being. But so mentally he was offering his respects within his mind and fixing the transcendental form within his heart. So this is something which is so important, isn't it? It's not about just outside, but what is our mood of our prayer within our heart? Like, when we see the Lord, what is our contemplation? What is it that's going on in our mind? So this is something, wherever we are, whether we are in front of Krishna in the temple room, or whether we are in front of our divine space at home, or whether we're chanting anywhere on the road, it's just about what's the mode of devotion that we have in our heart, isn't it? Because this is something which is reminding of what Krishna says the highest form of devotion in Bhagavad Gita. Yoginamapi sarvesam madgatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamamataha. Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the chapter number 6, he explains the jhana yoga. He says you have to go to the forest, you have to do this, you have to sit on a kusa grass, and then shouldn't be too high, you should be too low, then you should be eyes half closed, and you should look at the tip of your nose, and things like that. And Arjuna dismissed that kind of a thing, that Krishna, sorry, but this is not possible. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, pramati balvadrihanam, tasyaham nigraham manye. Why you do this? Krishna, this is so impossible. This mind is so stubborn, restless, obstinate, and you're asking me to control my mind doing this kind of a thing by going somewhere into the forest and doing that. Sorry, Krishna, it is impossible. And then Krishna says I know it is difficult, Arjuna, but it is possible by practice and detachment. And what is the practice? The practice is Krishna consciousness, to keep on chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. As you keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, your mind will be purified, and slowly it will be pacified, and slowly you will be able to control your mind. And at the same time, detachment. Very simple. How do you get detachment? By just attachment to Krishna will give us detachment to the material world. We all seeing that. Why? Why does it give detachment to the material world when we get attached to Krishna? As one of the things that happen when we chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the side effects, if you notice it, that when we chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one, Cheto Darpanam Arjunam, Dava Maha Davagni Nirvarpanam. It cleanses your heart, cleanses your mind. It kind of like it gives you the Krishna prema. It awakens the love for Krishna. On the other side, other thing also, what happens is it reduces our hankering for material things. Because one of the main problem within our life is that hankering is always there. I want to have this material desire. I want to have that material. I want to enjoy this. I want to enjoy that. That hankering, slowly it will decrease as we keep progressing with our chanting. And once you have that kind of a decreasing, so that is your detachment that is happening slowly. So as you keep chanting and getting attached to Krishna and purifying your consciousness, On the other hand, slowly your detachment towards him, and we can observe that. Krishna himself says, right, Vesaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopasta param dristva nivarte. Param dristva nivarte, meaning that when you have experienced a higher taste of Krishna prema, when you have experienced a higher taste of listening to Krishna katha, when you have experienced a higher taste of singing a bhajan for Krishna, by experienced a higher taste of eating Krishna prasadam, then when you experience that higher taste, then your taste for the lower things will slowly go down and down and down. So here, and at the end, why I'm saying that is because at the end of Jnana Yoga, Krishna says, Yoginam api sargasam. He says, of all the yogis, Arjuna, one who's always thinking of Krishna within his mind and engaging in transcendental loving service to Krishna and fixing his mind on the transcendental form of Krishna, Krishna says, Arjuna, in my opinion, he is the most intimately united with me, Arjuna, and that is the highest form of yoga, which is called as Bhakti Yoga. So Krishna is giving the definition of Bhakti Yoga in Jnana Yoga and the last verse, and the same thing which is what we can find out here with Narad Muni. He is offering his respects within the mind, fixing or the transcendental form of the Lord within this heart. And this is what Krishna is saying. Yoginam api sarvesam madgatena antaratam sharjavan bhajatemam samik. One who is always thinking of Krishna within his heart and rendering transcendental loving service. Krishna says that is the highest form of yoga, and this is what Narada Muni is doing that. So you see how nicely Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam tie up. Over there, Krishna is saying, this is what I consider as the topmost devotee. And here Narada Muni is showing us, this is how you have to be your topmost devotee, perfection of yoga. So here we can see that Narada Muni does not walk on the surface of the globe, he travels in outer space. Imagine what a benediction, right? So we have to understand that every good devotional service that we are doing, it has got something, it goes a long way. It's not just this life, but we are also making the roadblocks for our next life, because after all we see that everything that we are experiencing, the good and bad in this life, is because of prarabdha karma of what we have done in the previous life. So if everything that we do has a karmic reaction which is coming from our previous life, don't you think that what we are doing in this life, in terms of bhakti, in terms of any other activity that we are doing, right, that has an implication in our next life? This is what has happened to Narad Muni. Narad Muni was serving the devotees. He was listening to Krishna Katha. He was eating Krishna Prasadam. He was doing all the things which gave him that kind of a position that he could travel in space and just not work on the surface of the globe, but travel in space. So everything that we do has got a karmic reaction. So that's why it's very important for us to be doing everything to please the Lord. Samsiddhim haritoshnam. Krishna consciousness in one word, samsiddhim haritoshnam. Do everything to please the Lord Krishna. Do everything in the service of Krishna. And then now, after the departure of Lord Krishna, Narada Muni, Lord Krishna is assuring the messenger who had come on behalf of the present king that they should not be worried. So this is what happens. So through Bhagavatam, Krishna is telling us, like, you may have so many problems. Yeah, your friend has something happened to your friend, something happened to my family member, you have something else. But Krishna, through this beautiful Krishna through this Krishna Katha, is assuring us, don't be worried. Don't worry when you have hurry. So, for he would soon arrange to kill the king of Magadha, which is called as Jarasandha. So, Krishna is not afraid of Jarasandha. We've seen earlier also, he's defeated him so many times. And finally, the next time when he was going for a war, he had to go because Rukmini had sent a letter, so he had to attend to that. And he's Bhagavan. Why do we call Bhagavan? Because one of the things of Bhagavan is one of the opulences of Bhagavan is that unlimited renunciation. Also, he can just leave everything. And today I was just thinking, like, in terms of renunciation, that's the same thing which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, right? What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was married and he had a beautiful wife and all that, but you seen that after some time he left everything, family, left everything, and he literally took sannyas, a mood of renunciation, right? So Lord Krishna, not only as Bhagavan Sri Krishna, but he showed even in the avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the mode of renunciation, that the Lord can do anything, like, in terms of his pastimes. So here he's assuring the messenger, don't worry, like, I'm going to come and do the job. You requested me. Yes, ho jayega. And he wished good fortune for all the imprisoned kings and the messenger. And after receiving it, The messenger returned to imprisoned king and informed them of the happy news. What a great news, isn't it? All the kings. Imagine all the Kshatriyas. Normally, the Kshatriyas are like great warriors, and they have been imprisoned, and they are feeling so helpless. So, this is the something we have to understand. Whether it is Arjuna or whether these imprisoned kings, we have to learn from Bhagavatam that we cannot think like, I'm very powerful, I'm great, I can handle everything in my life. I'm just, I can handle all the things on my own. I don't, some people say like, I'm just doing my karma, I can handle everything, I don't need God, I'm just doing my karma kind of thing. But we have to realize that nature is very, very strong, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sharvashaha ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti manyate. The soul, under the influence of false ego, thinks that we can do all kind of activity, but in reality everything is done by the three modes of the material nature. So the material nature is very, very powerful. It can even imprison, he can get somebody to even imprison a king, a powerful king also. That's what has happened. All the kings have been imprisoned, but they're very happy that Krishna has given us them assurance that he was going to release them from Jarasandha, and all the kings were so joyful to begin and wait for the arrival of the Lord. So sometimes there are certain things that we can do in our life, but there's something which is beyond our comprehension, it's beyond our might, it's beyond our strength. We should always remember that we are indispensable. It's not like we are indispensable. We will have challenges in our life. Even Arjuna, the great warrior, was in such a situation where his Gandhiva was slipping and he was literally in tears, right? He was in literally, his mind was totally disturbed. So we have to always remember that for us, whatever is impossible is nothing for Krishna. Impossible is nothing for Krishna. He can make things happen. But so we should always remember that in every battle that we fight, we should always think of Krishna, and we should pray to Krishna, please guide us, give us the right guidance, give us the right intellect to handle the situations in our life. So can I ask someone if they can read the next one, the chariot of Lord Krishna?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, may I read, please?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. The chariot of Lord Krishna started for Hastinapura, accompanied by many other chariots, along with elephants, cavalry, infantry, and similar royal paraphernalia. Bugles, drums, trumpets, conch shells, and horns all produced a loud, auspicious sound, which vibrated in all directions. The 16,000 queens, headed by the goddess of fortune, Rukmini Devi, the ideal wife of Lord Krishna, and accompanied by their respective sons, all followed behind Lord Krishna. They were dressed in costly garments decorated with ornaments, and their bodies were smeared with sandalwood pulp and garlanded with fragrant flowers. Riding on palanquins nicely decorated with silk, flags, and golden lace, they followed their exalted husband, Lord Krishna. The infantry soldiers carried shields, swords, and laced lances in their hands and acted as royal bodyguards to the queen. In the rear of the procession were the wives and children of all the other followers, and there were many society girls also following. Many beasts of burden, like bulls, buffaloes, mules, and asses, carried the camp, bedding, and carpets, and the women who followed were seated in separate palanquins on the backs of camels. This panoramic procession was accompanied by the shouts of the people and was full with the display of different colored flags, umbrellas, and vests, and different varieties of weapons, dress ornaments, helmets, and armaments. Shining in the sunlight, the procession appeared just like an ocean with a high waves and sharks. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. That's so wonderful. When you're narrating, it's just bringing to mind like how beautiful the kind of opulence, because Krishna is like full of opulences, isn't it? So even if he is going for a fight with Jarasandha, and look at the kind of the preparation that was being done. Sometimes when you have royal kings and loyal this thing, we see sometimes like when the things happen in UK, when the royal family comes and you find there's a certain aura of the king and things like that. But if that could happen just with a small kingdom like this, but can you imagine, to bring into mind the Lord of the Lords, Sri Krishna Bhagavan, when he's actually preparing for a war, when he's just going and preparing himself, coming with the chariots chariots and the elephants and royal procession and all the queens coming in the back in palanquins and things like that. This is just like such a grand, massive grandeur, isn't it? And this is nothing but the Supreme Lord himself, who's just there as the king of Dwarka and just addressing. And as Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam. So here he is not only for two purposes that Krishna comes: one, to put an end to the demoniac people, and two, also for the love of his devotees. So anybody who's taken to the shelter of Krishna, he is always guided by Krishna, he is always protected by Krishna, because Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Anyone who's taken to the shelter of Krishna, doesn't matter whether you're a Kshatriya or whether you're Brahmin or a Sudra or anybody who takes to the shelter of Krishna, they're always protected by him. So Krishna gave the assurance to the messenger that, yes, I will come and protect. And here you can see the preparation that was going on. Needless to add, the kind of grandeur that was there along with the soldiers and with palanquins and the 16,000 queens and things like that. So nothing more to explain than the grandeur that we can see in this procession that was happening. And as Bhagwan Sri Krishna, whenever he's just arriving in that kind of a grandeur, so we can just bring to light how beautiful the situation must have been, because everybody's ability is coming from Krishna, and that the source of all our knowledge, source of all our strength, that Bhagwan is, when he takes part in these beautiful leelas, it's so joyful, isn't it? So one would like to go for the next one in this way, the procession.
I will go. Hare Krishna
Yes.
Prabhu.
Yeah, Niri Prabhu, go ahead.
Okay, let me read. In this way, the procession of Lord Krishna party advanced towards the Hastinapur, New Delhi, and gradually passed through the kingdoms of Anatha, Gujarat province, Surat, the great desert of Rajasthan, and then Kurukshetra. Between those kingdoms were many mountains, rivers, towns, villages, pasturing ground, and mining fields. The procession passed through all these places it in advance. On his way to Hastinapur, the Lord crossed two big rivers, the Daswati and the Saraswati. Then he crossed the province of Panchala and Matsya. In this way, he ultimately arrived at the Hastinapur or Indraprastha. Hare Krishna.
Amir. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So this is the one which I was just talking about. Like, there is a talk that, we should change again New Delhi to the original name of Hastinapur. But I don't know whether that's going to likely to happen. But that would be amazing, isn't it, to see like some of our cities getting back their original names. Like, like we have Dwarka and all that. But now, if Delhi that can be changed, then that would be like a big thing. But yeah, we can see that, how it is coming to light, where Gujarat is, where, Dwarka is there. And then from there, Krishna is driving all the way to New Delhi. So all those places, the beautiful thing about our Bhagavatam and all this is those places, we belong to those places, and those places are still there. Gujarat, Dwarka is there, and we know that New Delhi is right now, that's called as New Delhi, and Krishna is making all his way, and even the direction in which how he's just arriving over there is also clearly mentioned, that from Gujarat is gone to Rajasthan, and from there to Kurukshetra, and then passing through all the mountains and rivers. Obviously, it is not like a straight thing. Even if you go to some other places like Pune, and like where before arriving, you can find, like, you can literally witness the kind of mountain terrain and rivers and things like that. So here, obviously, when Krishna was going through all this, it was just going through this big rivers, Drisvati and Saraswati and things like that. So finally, anyway, he's fine. Lord Krishna is finally, along with all the entourage, he's just arrived at Hastinapur. Next one, anyone would like to read? Srikant
I'll
Prabhu?
read, Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
The audience of Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is not at all commonplace. Therefore, when King Yudhishthira heard that Lord Krishna had arrived in his capital city, Hastinapura, he became so joyful that all his bodily hair stood on end in great ecstasy, and he immediately came out of the city to properly receive the Lord. He ordered the musical vibration of different instruments and songs, and the learned Brahmanas of the city began to chant the hymns of the Vedas very loudly. Lord Krishna is known as Rishi Kesha, the master of the senses, and King Yudhishthira went forward to receive him exactly as the senses meet the consciousness of life. King Yudhishthira was the elder cousin of Krishna. Naturally, he had great affection for the Lord, and as soon as he saw him, his heart became filled with great love and affection. He had not seen the Lord for many days, and therefore he thought himself most fortunate to see the Lord present before him. The king therefore embraced Lord Krishna again and again in great affection.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. That's beautiful. So here we can see that when now that Krishna has arrived at Hastinapur and how lovingly the relation that Pandavas had with Krishna and Yudhishthira when he hears that Krishna himself can you imagine, like, we always have some special guests whom we have a lot of love because, whether it's friends, whether it's relatives, we all have our own favorites. When somebody whom really love, they come home, like, our ecstasy is, immeasurable, isn't it? We all love it when someone whom you like so much comes to your house. It's like there's so much of joy. And what to speak of the Pandavas' love for Krishna? Sometimes because Krishna is like, he says in Bhagavad Gita also, right? Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshi stina priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai teshu chapyam. Krishna says, Arjuna, I don't envy anyone, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. But whoever is engaged in loving service towards me, whoever loves me with all my heart, Arjuna, for them, I am a dear friend to them, and they are a dear friend to me. So Krishna is considering that anybody who loves Krishna is considered as a dear friend to Krishna, and Krishna is saying, I'm their friend to them as well. Some Suhridam Sarva Bhutana. I'm the great well-wisher, I'm your best friend, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So here, because why Krishna is so much of this thing for Pandavas is because Pandavas always had so much of love for Krishna, right? Imagine Krishna spoke the book of yoga of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, but why Arjuna? Like, was he good at yoga, doing Ashtanga yoga? Was he good at Hatha yoga? Or is he a saint? Is he a Brahmana? Then what is the qualification that Arjuna had that he was listening to Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna? Two most important thing Krishna says. One, you are my great devotee, and you're my most best friend. So two most important qualification, that he had so much of faith in Krishna, he had so much of love in Krishna, and he was also a great devotee of Krishna. And this is the qualification that the Pandavas happen, and this is what we have to learn from Pandavas, that how to always engage. You can see Yudhishthira, he was so happy to see Krishna that he would so nicely he was receiving the Lord with all the musical instruments. This is what we would do, right? When somebody comes in that great ecstasy, you would pull all the strings to make sure the person who's coming, your favorite person who's coming home, has the best of the best experience, right? So this is what we have to every time we have to reflect on how do we apply these things in our life. So when you're serving in the temple, when you're serving Prabhupada, when you're serving the devotees who are coming to see Krishna, see what this is the kind of ecstasy that you should also be so happy to receive them, because they come to see Krishna, they're not come to see us. Give them the best experience that we can. This is what I always try to keep in mind, like, how do we serve Prabhupada? How can we make sure that anybody who comes to the mandir, we have to give them the best of the best experience? And devotees association, how can we help each other in the devotee community, in our satsangs, shoulder to shoulder, always stand with each other, and just giving that support, Prabhuji, because nobody is perfect, everybody is trying to be an aspiring devotee. So just pat on the back, just appreciating something. Even if you want to say something, say it in such a way that the person is going to be feel very nicely, and he should be able to take it so nicely, right? Bhagavan Sri Krishna is just not telling about karma yoga and jnana yoga, but he's also telling you the austerity of speech. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Anudvega vakyam satyam priyahita swadhyaya bhashanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. Austerity of speech, Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. You should, when you speak to someone, speak in such a way that it is very pleasing, it is very beneficial, it is very truthful, and it is not antagonizing or just creating an anxiety in the other person. You should speak in such a nice way, and at the same time, austerity of speech also consists of reading the scriptures. So as we see, like, this is what we are doing, isn't it? Austerity of speech, Krishna is saying, austerity of speech also consists of reading Krishna's, beautiful Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, which is what we are doing. We are taking turns and reading about Krishna Katha, right? And Krishna, this is what Krishna is saying. Austerity of speech consists of speaking nicely, pleasingly, beneficial, don't say anything in such a way that the other person is going to feel bad about. You can always present it in a nice way. Prabhuji, can I just request like this? If you take it, say it in a nice way, nobody is going to feel bad about that. People are going to take it in a nice way. But if you just put on a blank face and say, how could you do this and things like that, on you couldn't be hurting the other person, that the person may not again come back to the mandir next time, So we all have to be very, very conscious, because Krishna is giving us through these messages. And he's the, like we can see over here, Rishikesha, he's the master of all the senses. And what is our philosophy? Rishikena Rishikesha Sevaya, because we want to engage our senses in serving the master of the senses, right? So it is so nicely mentioned over here. The king Yudhishthira went forward to resume exactly how like your senses meet the consciousness of life. So such a beautiful way of analogy that he's giving, like, just like how your senses meet your consciousness, and the original consciousness is Krishna consciousness, right? So here that's what is happening. And King Yudhishthira was the elder cousin of Krishna, and that's the reason why there was a natural affection for him, and his heart was filled with so much of love and affection. So this is what we can learn, from the Pandavas. But we all should also keep in mind Pandavas went through so many challenges, so many death threats. Their house was put on fire. But in through all these things, they never gave up on Krishna. They never left their faith in Krishna. Avasya rakshabe Krishna Viswasa Palana. In fact, it was the other way around. Kunti Devi was saying, if not for you, Krishna, what would have been to our life? Because you were there, we survived, we even won the Kurukshetra battle. We won all because you were there. So that is the mood of the devotee, right? So always thinking like Krishna is there for me, and he's going to be take care of us. So always having that kind of a trust and faith in Krishna. So is it okay if we do just one this thing, and then we can close for today? Anyone would like to read the next one? The nectar is so beautiful. That is so nice. Anyone would like to read the next?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. May I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Harik,
Yeah.
yeah, Ushaji,
Okay.
please. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay. The highlighted one, right, Prabhu?
Yeah, that's right.
The eternal form of Lord Krishna is the everlasting residence of the uh, goddess of fortune. As soon as King Yudhishthira embraced him, he became free from all the contamination of material existence. He immediately felt transcendental bliss and merged in an ocean of happiness. There were tears in his eyes, and his body shook in ecstasy. He completely forgot that he was living in this material world. After this, Bhimasena, the second brother of the Pandavas, smiled and embraced Lord Krishna, thinking of him as his own material cousin, and thus he also merged in great ecstasy. Bhimasena was so filled with ecstasy that for the time being he forgot his material existence. Then Lord Sri Krishna himself embraced the other three Pandavas, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva. The eyes of all three brothers were in uh,
Inundated.
inundated. Yeah, thank you, Bro. With tears, and Arjuna embraced Krishna again and again because they were intimate friends. The two younger Pandavas brothers, after being embraced by Lord Krishna, fell down at his lotus feet to offer their respects. Lord Krishna thereafter offered his obeisances to the Brahmanas present, as well as to the elder members of the Kuru dynasty, like Bhishma, Drona, and Dhritarashtra. There were many kings of different provinces such as uh, sorry, Kuru,
Srinjaya. Srinjaya, I think. Yeah.
Srinjaya, and Keikaya, and Lord Krishna. Duly reciprocated greetings and respect with them. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Shall I carry on or somebody
Yeah.
else
Carry
can?
on, Mataji. It's still there. The paragraph is still,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And Lord Krishna duly reciprocated greetings and respects with them. And the professional reciters like the Sutas, Magadas, and Vandis, accompanied by the Brahmanas, offered their respectful prayers to the Lord. Performing artists like the Gandharvas as well as the royal jokers began to play their Parn, Parnava drums, conch shell, kettle drums, venas, mridangas, and bugles, and they exhibited their dancing art to please the Lord. Thus, the old famous Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, entered the great city of Hastinapura, which was opulent in every respect. While Lord Krishna was entering the city, all the people talked amongst themselves about the glories of the Lord, praising his transcendental name, qualities, form, and soon.
Hare
And soon.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank
Thank you,
you so
Prabhu.
much, Mataji. I mean, it was just tasting like so much. The nectar is so beautiful, isn't it? Like Krishna coming out there, you can just visualize how beautiful it must have been. And it is what they were not talking about some devata, or we're not talking about some demigod. We're talking about the God of all the gods, whose husband or the goddess of fortune. And we can see that, through this Leela that is happening over here, we can see that once the Pandavas are embracing Krishna, they were freed about all the material, the anxieties that you have in this material existence. This is what happens when we are chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, when we are engaging in any devotional service to the Lord. It always, we are engaged in the transcendental bliss of the Lord, and we are in a totally in a different mood of Vrindavan. We are kept away from these material anxieties and all these kind of things. And that's why we say Cheto Darpana Arjuna Bhavan Maha Davagnin, because this material existence is compared to the forest fire, and that all that we will be released from that when we have the embrace of Krishna. So whether we are seeing Krishna in person, or like how the Pandavas were doing, or even chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or listening to Krishna Katha, these are all the things which are part of the devotional service. It is like Krishna is absolute, which means it is just the same. Listening to Krishna Katha is as same as seeing Krishna, the deity of Krishna, or chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we can see the Pandavas so nicely, they were embracing Krishna, and they had so much of tears, tears of joy. And this is what we can live with, that how when we have Krishna in our life, when we are embracing Krishna, when we are engaging in this loving relationship with Krishna, this is what should happen to our life. Because once we get into that mood of seeing the pure devotion between the Pandavas and the Krishna, this is the mood in which we have to engage in our devotionals. By listening to Krishna Katha, we will be able to understand the transcendental form of Krishna. We will be able to experience that. But that comes as we keep purifying our consciousness by listening to Krishna Katha, by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the whole aim. That as we keep on chanting, we purify the consciousness in such a way that once we start chanting, we should be able to see the transcendental form of Krishna within our hearts. So that is the aim of it. So this is a beautiful pastime that we are seeing how Krishna is engaging and embracing with the Pandavas, and also how nicely the Brahmanas and everything is, because even today the culture that's being followed in the land of Bharat, in our Sanatan Dharma, is everything is coming from the Dwapara Yuga. Like, whether the Brahmanas, we still have, yeah, especially Mrudangas and everything happening in our ISKCON as well, isn't it? Which we play. And then so these professional reciters and all these things, Brahmanas and all, they have been, this culture has been coming on from Sanatan Dharma from right from Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga, and now still Kali Yuga is still being followed, actually, to some extent. Not that we have such kind of a Vedic reciters and all that, but we can see that after embracing all these things, Krishna is entering into Hastinapur with all the opulence and all the people, how nicely they were talking. Imagine seeing Krishna in person and what they must be going through, because here's Rishikesha, even seeing Krishna, they just land up into an ocean of ecstasy. Just like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he seen Lord Jagannath, he completely, literally fainted, because that is what, when you have a purified consciousness, that's what happens when you see the Lord, and engage in a loving service with him. So I'm going to stop over here. We just covered till there, and then next we are going to cover and see, like, how the nectar is going to flow after Krishna is entering into Hastinapur. So I want to just thank everyone so nicely taking part in our Krishna Katha. Is there anything that anyone would like to add, corrections, or anything at all before we close for the day, or anything that you want to share?
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare
No,
Krishna.
I just was like going to say, like yesterday, yeah, I was also in the temple, so I was evidence, like, say some newcomer, and how you explain everything about chanting and all these things. So
Yeah, it was really nice class. Even to everybody. Yeah. Um,
Thank you so much, Mataji. And if you have devotees, like all of our devotee sanghas, if you have such wonderful devotees who always support and encourage and, and just giving the pat on the back, that means a lot. Everything that all of our devotees give support to me, like, whenever they give, it means a lot to me. And we are spreading about Krishna consciousness because I feel there are a lot of devotees who come to the mandir, and for years and years they've been coming, but they're just listening to Kirtan and just going back. So they don't know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. They don't know why we're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Many of them not even aware that Hare is actually Radharani's name. So we're just doing a small sincere endeavor to see if we can just, give the love of Krishna and give the knowledge of Krishna to everyone. So I'm just taking that as a small, but thank you so much, Meenakshi ji, for your words.
yeah,
Not
like
worthy of it.
so you sing so nicely, like whole atmosphere was so changed, like during Aarti time yesterday. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank
Thank you
you.
Hare
so much.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for explaining about Lord Krishna and his family and his service, and we get lots of ideas here. I would like to thank you also for the gesture you did yesterday and maybe the day before by welcoming those devotees who were kind of stranded, right?
Yes,
If you
yes.
weren't there, maybe they would have gone back home, maybe
Yeah.
cried on their way back, but they cried of joy when you managed to help them a little bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it brought the memory to me when I wanted to read Bhagavatam. And
Yeah.
for me, it was like difficult.
Hmm.
So I approached some people who were already reading the Bhagavatam, and I said, can I join the class? And one Mataji told me, no, it's very difficult. We are in the middle. You will not understand anything. You cannot join. So that kind of put me down. But then I formed a group myself with a scholar from Mayapur. He was in our group. He was doing his PhD. So he was so happy. So we were like 10, 12. But he explained so nicely. And I think, what is so difficult? Yes, it is difficult.
Yes.
But if you put your heart into it, it's not difficult.
Difficult,
So
yeah.
how people sometimes will block you and how people will bring you forward.
Yeah,
Gayatri
absolutely.
Mataji always says that because of me. It's not because of me. It's because she was sincere to join a group, and
Yeah.
I could see her sincerity.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
only that, I didn't know her that much, but she was telling there is no group. Mataji, wait. I connected to, I think, two free groups in UK. And this is like, she's happy, and I am happier than her to see her growing in her spiritual life. You know,
Absolutely.
anybody, a young man has come from Toronto recently to Victoria. I don't know how he connected to me. Maybe somebody from Waterloo, where we were living, in our group, gave my number. He contacted me. We took him to the temple. Now we are going somewhere else with him. We are inviting him, and he's so happy. He's
Yeah.
21 years old. He's already initiated. But in
Wow.
our association, he's so happy. Like this, if we connect people to Krishna, benefit will be ours, right? But we don't want that benefit. We want benefit for the other soul.
Yeah.
That's why you went out of your way taking them to the station, dropping them to the station. That's a big step,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Right. So
absolutely.
thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. We should not be like, oh, why does she want to join? Why should I allow her to join? Even this group, somebody told me, no, I need to ask Prabhuji. And I realized, why do you have to ask Prabhuji? Then I found Prabhuji has sent me detail of the class long time. So I went back and searched for it and then joined myself.
Oh, so that's so nice. That's so nice. I'm
Thank
glad
you. Thank you.
you did that, Mataji. This is a platform for all of us, and I keep telling
Yes.
them, you will not be regret if you come to this sangha because we got a nice mix of devotees, like
Yeah.
nice wonderful devotees with
And
giving their realizations.
I was thinking, which host will not like somebody else joining in his group?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I said, no, let me do my thing
Yeah,
myself and find my way. In this way, if somebody is kind of
yeah,
obstacle in our path, move the obstacle or jump over, cross over it, and manage your own thing. Hare Krishna.
yeah. realized knowledge. It's a knowledge which is coming from Krishna. And Krishna says, if you are sincere in serving me, tesham satatayuktanam bhajati pritipurkam dadami buddhi yogam tam. So the intelligence to understand Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna will provide. So everything is coming from him. The knowledge is coming, the intelligence is coming from him. So he will, if we are sincere in our endeavor, in some way or the other, he will he will give the shelter of nice devotee, like like how nicely you had the association of some other devotee from who has so nicely explained to you, Mataji. So Krishna will show, because you have such a sincere heart to wanting to know. So Krishna made all the divine arrangements. That's the way I look at it. So yes, Mataji, we are just serving whatever best, because we always try to, in the material world, we try to show emotions towards anyone. We do so many things and later we regret. But then if we are doing everything in the service of Krishna, we do a total detachment that Krishna, they came to see you, not me. They came to see you. So whatever I can do to bring them closer to you, that experience, people will forget what they were or what has happened to them, but they will never forget the way we make them feel, that how nicely we want to give them that experience, for the first time experience. That is something which people do not forget. And I have literally seen, experienced it today and yesterday, and even last week also, when people are just literally crying in front of Radha Krishna. How can you just be so kind and give us this darshan? These are the Utsav Murtis, not many people get to see, and you are giving us the chance to sit and see this darshan. So very, yeah, thank you so much, Indilek Mataji. I always like when you share your experiences and some of the things, because they're so valuable for all of us, the
Thank you,
devotees, to
Prabhuji.
listen.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
When
you.
you're talking about tears, they had tears in their eyes. So I spent 1 month in Mayapur, and then I spent my time at the host place, the person who was hosting the Bhagavatam in Canada. So he moved to Mayapur. So I spent 1 month with them, because we spent a long time in Canada together. So every morning I would go, and every morning tears will roll. And I say, why? And I turn around and I say, people will laugh at me. And I say, everybody has tears in their eyes. Yeah.
Such a beautiful, I mean, as Prabhupada said, like, this is the real United Nation. We are from
Yeah.
different places and we are still so
Yeah.
connected with Krishna in the center, isn't it? This is what the beauty about Prabhupada said. This is our actual United Nation.
Yeah.
We are from different places. We are so connecting, and I can't say, like, Mataji, you and Gayatri ji joining us, and like all of us, like, so nicely. It's so beautiful. I mean, I feel blessed to be in the association of such wonderful devotees
I
like
feel
all of you.
blessed. I am learning a lot. I feel blessed to be in all of your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srikant Prabhu, anything you would like to add? Srikant Prabhu is nicely serving in Goshala. Such a wonderful devotee.
No, Prabhu, you have covered everything, and you actually are an example of how a devotee should behave and speak to the people. So we all need to learn from you, Prabhu.
No, Prabhuji, you are such a wonderful thing. Every time I had I can't forget such great talks we have in the mandir. You're straight from the heart, and I love to learn from you, like how to face life and, still stick to Krishna. Thank you for your association. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Meenakshi ji, anything would like to add? Neeraj Prabhu, anyone, like, if you want, please, any corrections
It's
or
a
any.
really nice session, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yeah,
Hare
very
Krishna.
nice.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Sita Mataji and Prabhuji, anything would like to add?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji is already you mentioned, nothing to add. Just to mention how the actually Indulaka Mataji also mentioned. Actually, devotee how they behave, that is also very important. Those are newcomer, they feel interest about the devotees behavior, devotees service. They feel attracted by their action, not immediately through the philosophy. Philosophy people will not understand, not to give them. So, so that's why the behavior is very important. Devotee management, how they do, how to deal. But you are one of the great example for that. You are the really how you are doing, how you are serving, how you are a scholar, everything, all these things, and we feel really we are learning from you how you are doing. Yeah,
Thank you
really,
so much,
Prabhu, it's not
Prabhuji.
nothing to. I am not telling more,
Uh,
but I cannot express correctly.
no,
But
Prabhuji.
you are more than that. Whatever I mentioned,
Yeah.
actually, is very nice. And Krishna books also very important for
Yes.
us. I know that is I am telling many other different times. Some become devotees, even senior devotees, even sannyas, taking sannyas.
Yeah.
First, starting from Krishna books.
Yeah.
Those who are at the past, they are student. They are a student in the university. Only first collected the books. Actually, somehow they took these books, Krishna books, and
Mm.
slowly by slowly, Krishna
Yeah.
manifested on their heart. So, and you are giving all these things also link with the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Nicely, you are connecting nicely. You are serving really, really nice.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
We've known each other for many years, and I feel so nice like you when I talk to you and you joined the association. Join me. It goes a long way. We are many years. We've been great friends, and thank you so much for giving your words and your kind association. And I take it as like a blessing that to get your support as well and your kind words. I'm not worthy of it, but I'll definitely. This is a great encouragement for me to serve more our devotees who come in the mandir. So thank you so much for that. In the interest of time, Gayatri ji, anything would you like to mention? Such a beautiful way you sang today. I'm so happy. Beautiful, Gayatri ji. Very nice. You sang today.
Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Actually, I don't have anything to say, Prabhuji. It was wonderful class. And as usual, everybody told Ramlalla Prabhuji mentioned so beautifully. So we all feel the same way. And Indulekha Mataji also mentioned. So not, yes, Prabhuji, we are learning every Thursday from your classes and association. We are all happy to get associated with. Whenever we see some pravachans from London, Soho Temple or Manor, I'm always like, oh, when will I go there? When will I see the deities? When will I get their darshan?
We look
So
forward to
that's all,
that.
Prabhuji. My hopefully one day
Yeah, yeah.
Radha and Krishna will fulfill my desire. That's all, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you. Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank
Hare
you for
Krishna.
such a wonderful session.
Thank you, Mataji, and don't forget we are all there for you. Indulekha Mataji and you, we look forward to that. And someday we're going to see you here. We will personally,
Yes,
I'll be your
Prabhuji.
personal tour guide, a temple tour guide. I will show you
Prabhuji,
all the
Hare
places.
Krishna. I'll
Yes,
be there
Mataji.
soon. I'll be there soon. Gayatri Mataji, let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Why not?
Mataji. Shiv Mataji. Let me know when you're going. I will also book the
I will, I
tickets.
will, I will personally give a tour. I'll be your tour guide
Yes,
everywhere.
yes, Prabhuji.
And
When you're
it's nice.
mentioning that you have opened the temple for the some people who are devotees, I'm like, I wish I was also there to see the see the get the darshan. So yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, thank you so much.
I was
Hare
luckily
Krishna.
the management said like if people can't are not able to have the darshan of the temple like after the temple is closed that we don't want to disappoint them so let's take them and show them Utsav Murti and give them the darshan so that's what which I'm doing in the afternoons if they miss seeing the darshan of the Lord and they get so disappointed so we don't want to do that we want to just make sure they have feel special that they get a personal darshan of that. So you can be assured if you're coming to here to London, we will always be there for you and we will give you the best of the best experience, showing you all the place. Thank you, Gayatri ji, very much. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Pawan Prabhuji, anything you would like to add? Bit like
Hare
that.
Krishna Prabhuji. Very, very good session. And
Uh,
personally, I myself saw last week, when I was in Manor, you took one of the family upstairs and
yeah,
shown them the temple. I can understand how happy they were.
yeah.
So, getting an opportunity to serve devotees is one of the very, very good chance, I would say. And then you like grab every opportunity and set really good examples. Personally seen myself, so whenever I was there, and also like I was in your lectures as well when you were or in the afternoon aarti. So I really enjoyed that as well. You make sure everyone is engaged. Like you took some sentences like you said everyone have Facebook and know about Facebook. Do you know what there is a book called KrishnaBook, and everyone got connected. That was really good actually. So I can see how they get engaged and slowly, after your speech, they come to you and learn more, and most of the people realized about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well when you started telling about all the Panchtattva, and when Narad Muni and you're asking questions, and that was really good actually. Interaction, Q&A, and then they're learning and then showing interest. It's you're doing absolutely great job, Prabhuji. Like you know that way, more and more people start reading Bhagavad Gita as well. The
Yeah,
way uh, slowly they get to know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Panchtattva, and then the importance of Gita, and yeah, so and yeah, really touched as well with the example which you mentioned, what happened yesterday and day before yesterday. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
really
Yeah,
very
thank you.
great.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. In fact, I'm so inspired, like, how nicely you take time to come to the temple and just come out there and serve immediately all the devotees, and you already developed a network with all the ashram people and all that. So it's amazing. So whenever I see you, I feel very joyful whenever I see you in the temple. So please keep coming more and more. We have one question from Neeraj ji, which I'll just answer before we just close down. Just a question for beginners, Prabhuji. I'm trying to understand the roles of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in ISKCON. Could you please explain each of your guide devotees and how your teachings are connected? Each of you guide devotees. So Prabhuji, like Neeraj Prabhu, in a very
Mm,
simple way,
mm,
Lord Krishna comes in. He takes many avatars. So it is Krishna himself who came in the avatar of a devotee called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna himself, who came in a devotee form and in the mood of Radharani, because Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita tells Bhakti Amama Bijanati Yavan Yaschasmi Tatvata, which means, Arjuna, the one and only way you can understand me is through Bhakti Yoga. But how to do Bhakti Yoga in Kali Yoga? So Krishna himself comes in the form of a devotee to personally show that this is how you have to engage in worshipping Krishna. So Krishna is setting a perfect example, coming in the form of a devotee called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and telling us that in Kali Yuga, you don't need to read the Vedas, you're not running away into the forest, but wherever you are, just chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's all you need to do in this Kali Yuga. So he made it very easy. Just chant, dance, Sankirtan, do all the Kirtan with your friend, have Krishna Prasadam, and be happy. So that is a nice philosophy that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave it, because Kali Yuga is very difficult. People are so fallen. We can't do Jnana Yoga and all these things. So easiest thing is Bhakti Yoga, right? I hope that clarifies.
yeah, yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Okay, sorry, I don't want to keep everyone waiting over here. Many people attain liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention. Yeah, this is the thing I shall know. Yeah, exactly. That's what we are covered actually, which Narada Muni is saying, thinking of Krishna within his mind and heart. So I want to thank every one of you for giving your beautiful association. I'm not worthy of, just giving this class, but Krishna inspires to just share with our devotees. And I'm going to keep sharing some of the beautiful stories because I'm spending more time in the temple. So there's so many beautiful things, incidents happen in the temple when we meet people. So I will just share so that we all devotees know about how the experiences are. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpataribhyasya kripa sindhubhya Anant Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol,
Krishna,
Shyam
thank you,
Hari
Prabhuji.
Bol,
Thank you.
Hari Bol,
Hari
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 Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank you very
Hari
much. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.